Welcome back, viewers, to another video from Zemflix. Aron Ralston was born on October 27, 1975, in Marion, Ohio. At the age of 12, he started participating in sports like skiing and backpacking in his high school. His passion for adventure grew quickly, and he soon learned other adventure sports like rafting and hiking. He became so dedicated to adventure sports that he quit his 9-to-5 job and devoted all his time to them. After quitting his job, he moved directly to Aspen, Colorado, a small resort town surrounded by rocky mountains and snowy peaks. This place offers year-round opportunities for skiing and mountaineering. In fact, before quitting his job, Aron had chosen 3 climbing projects that he wanted to complete during his annual vacations. First, to climb all 59 of Colorado's 14ers, mountains taller than 14,000 feet. Second, to set a world record by climbing these mountains in winter. And third, to summit the highest peak in every U.S. state. By the end of 2002, when he left his job, he had already summited 36 of the 59 14ers in winter, and now he could dedicate his full time to adventure. During this period, he went on many dangerous hiking trips with his friends. Once, he narrowly escaped death. Because of his tendency to take extreme risks, many of his friends were reluctant to join him on his trips. One day, Aron and a few friends planned a hiking trip. But a few days before departure, the friends backed out. Aron didn't want to go alone, but with free time at hand, he decided to head to Utah, although he hadn't decided exactly where to go. Normally, he would inform his friends about the details of his trips, but this time he had no concrete plan. While driving, he decided to go to Canyonlands National Park in Utah and spend 5 days climbing various unnamed slot canyons. Slot canyons are narrow and deep gorges formed between mountains. Canyonlands National Park covers thousands of square kilometers, 95% of which is deserted and uninhabited. One such canyon was called Blue John Canyon. Saturday, April 26, 2003, Aron arrived at Canyonlands National Park at 9 a.m. He parked his truck 15 miles away from Blue John Canyon on a dirt road and set off on his bicycle. He carried supplies for only one day: 2 burritos, 4 liters of water, and some climbing gear. By 2:30 p.m., he had traveled 7 miles into the canyon. 15 minutes later, he began descending into a section that was about 11 to 12 feet deep. Large boulders were wedged along his path. At one point, he encountered a boulder the size of a bus tire. His plan was to hang from the boulder and drop down. As he grabbed the bottom edge of the boulder, he heard it shift before he put his full weight on it. Realizing it was moving, he quickly let go and jumped down. His landing was a bit rough, but he was safe. The very next moment, however, the same boulder fell directly onto his right arm. Aron tried every possible way to free his arm, but soon realized that it wouldn't be easy. To calm himself, he took out some water from his bag and drank most of a liter in just 3 sips. But he quickly realized he might be stuck there for several days, so he decided to ration his water. Due to restricted blood flow, his hand started turning blue. He had no mobile phone to call for help. His backpack contained a CD player, batteries, a camera, a headlamp, ropes, pulleys, and a multi-tool. He had 3 options. 1. Try to break the boulder with the multi-tool. 2. Build a pulley system to lift the boulder. 3. The most difficult option, cut off his arm. He didn't even want to think about the last option. First, he tried breaking the boulder with his multi-tool. After many hours and sleepless nights of effort, the boulder didn't budge. Then he built a pulley system, but it was impossible to lift the rock with one hand. Sunday, 3 p.m. Aron had now been trapped in the canyon for 24 hours. He picked up his camera and recorded a video message. Greater than, "My name is Aron Ralston. Whoever finds this video, please deliver it to my parents." He then showed his crushed arm and described all his attempts to free himself. The next morning, weakened by hunger, thirst, and pain, he began to seriously consider cutting off his arm. He tied his arm with a water hose to stop the bleeding, but the real problem was cutting through the bone. The small knife on his multi-tool had dulled, making it impossible to cut bone. 68 hours later, the last drops of water in his bottle were gone. He started collecting his urine in a thermal bag and began drinking it. 120 hours later, he was in complete despair. For the past 3 days, he had been screaming for help, but no one heard him. Then, while asleep, he dreamt of a 3-year-old boy walking towards him, his future son. This dream gave him hope that he might survive. By now, his arm had completely decayed. When he cut into it with the knife, the fat melted like butter and gases escaped. But the bone was still intact. At that moment, he had an idea. Instead of cutting the bone, he could break it. He forced his body weight downward on his arm, wedged behind the boulder, and applied torque until the bone finally snapped. He then cut through the remaining flesh with the knife and freed himself. But his ordeal was not over yet. Before losing too much blood, he had to walk several miles back to his truck. On the way, he encountered a vacationing family who gave him food and called for help. About 4 hours after severing his arm, and after being trapped for 127 hours, he was rescued by helicopter. After 6 days and 5 nights of agony, he had lost 40 pounds of weight and 25% of his blood volume. A few days later, a 13-member team used a hydraulic jack and winch to lift the 360-kilogram boulder and retrieve his arm. 6 months after the incident, on his 28th birthday, Aron returned to the same canyon with a TV crew and shared his full story. This was only the beginning. In the following years, he became a celebrity. His book Between a Rock and a Hard Place became a bestseller in many countries. In 2010, a film based on his story, 127 Hours, was released. The arm-severing scene was so intense that several people fainted while watching it. In February 2020, his first son was born, the same child Soon after his recovery, he resumed his goal of climbing all 59 14ers and, in 2005, became the first person ever to summit them all solo in winter. Today, Aron Ralston continues to climb with a prosthetic arm and works as a corporate motivational speaker, earning thousands of dollars for just a few hours of speaking. In one of his speeches, he said, "Greater than, I lost my hand, but I got my life back." We hope you will also like and share this video from Zemflix. Thank you for your kind comments. See you in the next amazing video.